Hello and welcome to another video on Her Princess Nook. Today I'll be giving you guys book recommendations for princesses. I first want to recommend The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale, and this novel follows Andori Kaladra, a crown princess gifted with the magical ability to understand animal speech. This is one of those stories where you have a princess and she has to marry another prince from another kingdom, and because she has the ability to understand animal speech, a lot of the events in the novel hinge on her ability. This is one of those classic novels. It's by Shannon Hale. She's done a lot of other fairy tales, so I do recommend checking this author out as well. Then we have The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. She also wrote the Gilded Wolves trilogy, which is a series that's reminiscent of Six of Crows. So if you're looking for something similar, definitely check out this author. And she also released The Swan Daughter recently. But The Star-Touched Queen is about a 17-year-old girl. Her name is Maya, and she's been forced into a politically arranged marriage and becomes queen of Akran. So she's not exactly a princess, but she's a queen instead. As she discovers her own power and develops unexpected love and trust with her husband, she uncovers the kingdom's hidden dangers. So this is definitely an adventure novel. It's so much fun. It's South Asian inspired as well. I also want to recommend We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. So this is about Zafira, a legendary hunter disguised as a man, and she risks everything to protect her people in a kingdom threatened by war, while Nasir, the feared prince of death, enforces his father's brutal rule. Both are renowned for their deadly skills, yet neither wants to live the life they lead. When they embark on a opposing quest to recover a powerful artifact to save or destroy their world, Zafira and Nasir must confront an Asian evil far greater than themselves. So this is kind of an Arabian-inspired fantasy. We follow a princess, but it's not exactly girly, but it's more that she's fighting, she's hiding her identity. There's so many different moving parts to this story, so I recommend this as well. I also want to recommend The Far Pavilions by MMK. This was written in the 70s, I think, and I will warn you, it's 950 pages. So it's not something you finish in a day, that's for sure. But it's a novel that is so deeply complex and you really follow the lives of the characters. So it's set in 19th century India during the Indian Mutiny, and you follow the character named Ashton Pelham Martin, an Englishman raised within Indian culture who grows up torn between two worlds. So he also falls in love with an Indian princess. So yeah, if you want a really deep, lush novel, amazing writing, kind of very realistic and grounded in history, I really recommend this novel. For Chinese princess, I'm going to recommend Goodbye My Princess. Now this is a novel and it's actually a drama as well. I've watched the drama. The drama's absolutely amazing. I really recommend. You know what I recommend? Watch the drama first. Watch it and then read the novel afterwards. I haven't read the novel yet, but I really, really want to. I think both the drama and novel are quite similar, but essentially you follow a princess. Her name is Zhao Feng, and she has to get married to the crown prince and basically become the crown princess. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very complicated. It's very complex. She initially didn't want to marry him because she had fallen in love with someone else. It was a big mess. It was honestly a big mess. It was heart-wrenching, and I definitely want to read this novel. And if you want to read a novel that's quite political, based in China, I recommend Goodbye My Princess. So if you want a Western princess story that's very YA, I'm going to recommend Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. So in this story, at 6, Theodosia witnessed her mother's murder and her kingdom taken, and she's forced to live as the captive Ash Princess under the cruel Kaiser. So for 10 years, she endured abuse and humiliation, and she buried her true self to survive until a single act forces her to realize that survival isn't enough. This is one of those really gutsy, punchy stories, and if you want something that's going to be exciting, that's YA, that's reminiscent of 2010s YA, I really recommend The Ash Princess. For a North African inspired princess story, I recommend A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. So this is one of those stories that follows two sisters. They're both fighting for the throne. This is also YA as well. She has to, one of the main characters, Princess Ava, she has to fight her older sister Isa in a fight to the death. So it's very thrilling, it's very scary, it's an amazing fantasy adventure, twists and turns. You know what I love about fantasy is that you can never really guess what's gonna happen next. Like I have no clue what's gonna happen, and this is also a duology. Then I want to recommend The Frozen Crown by Greta Kelly. This is about a princess. Her name is Princess Askia, and she basically goes to a rival empire, sort of seeking aid, marriage talks, etc. However, she's unfamiliar with court politics, and she has a big secret, and that's that she's a witch, and her magic could both doom herself and her people if revealed. So there's war coming in, there's the fact that she has magic, there's all sorts of things going on, and she just wants to protect her kingdom and protect her people. This is another one of those gritty YA fantasy stories following a princess, following politics. If you want to carry on reading a gritty princess story, and maybe you want something inspired by Russian fantasy, I recommend Blood Heir by Emily Wen Zhao. So this one's really interesting. It's about in an empire where magical affinities are feared, Crown Princess Anastasia secretly possesses a deadly power over blood. So again, kind of similar to The Frozen Crown, where you have a princess and she actually has a magical power that people can't find out about. This is another YA story, and it's The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, or otherwise known as The Remnant Chronicles. So this is a trilogy. This is about Princess Leia, who is expected to wield the revered gift of sight, and she lacks the power and rejects the marriage arranged by her parents to secure a political alliance. On her wedding day, she flees to a distant village and begins a new life, only to be drawn into danger and intrigue when two mysterious strangers arrive. One a jilted prince, the other an assassin. Caught in deception and secrets, Leia must navigate peril while discovering unexpected love. So again, this is another adventure story. Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. And it also sounds a lot like Yona of the Dawn, which is a manga, and there's another story about a princess, if you ever want to check that out. Next we have Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. This is a really unique one because we're actually following three princesses. They're all sisters. Their names are Sophronia, Daphne and Beatrice, and they've been groomed from birth to be perfect brides. So their mother has trained them in deception, in combat, because she has an ambitious plan to dominate the continent of Vesteria, and she wants to use the princesses to do it. So they have to go to each of these kingdoms, they have to marry princes, and they basically have to navigate dangerous courts, hidden agendas, so they can essentially rule the entire continent. Really interesting political story, really unique. I like how we're following three different sisters and how different and difficult it is for each of them. Now, this is a story reminiscent of Otome Isekai, and it's called The Girl Who Fell Through Time by Catherine MacDonald. So, what's the synopsis? After being betrayed and killed by a power-hungry husband, noblewoman Celine Duskbriar is sent back in time to the day of her engagement with the chance to change her fate. Determined to avoid her tragic future, she hastily marries the kind Lord Dorian and retreats to the countryside, where she begins to heal and discover unexpected love. But when her former husband, moves once again towards war, Celine must use her knowledge of the future to stop him and finally take control of her own destiny. This is a duology. It sounds a lot like those Otome Isekais where you follow someone who's a villainess or they've gone through time. So I love stories like these, and there's quite a lot of them. Not exactly about a princess, but definitely has princess vibes. I also want to recommend Never Ever After by Su Lin Tan, and this is a Cinderella inspired story but set in China. If you want to read about a West African princess, I want to recommend Goddess Crown by Sade Lepite. So this is a lush Afro-fantasy. We follow Colothia, who has been raised in hiding after her parents were branded enemies of the crown. She's forced to flee to the royal court when assassins destroy her secluded home, and she's thrust into a world of political intrigue, danger, and rigid power structures. She must learn to survive palace schemes while discovering her destiny under the guidance of a goddess. I love stories like these, where they're really political, magical. Someone is thrust into royal court and they have to deal with different houses. They have to deal with different like loyalties and betrayal. She's not necessarily a princess, but I don't want to spoil anything. But there's a reason why she's on this list. I'll just say that. Then we have Whisked Away by Enola M. Douglas. This is an Omegaverse story and it's also why I choose. So it's not for everyone, but maybe check it out. It's quite unique. It's about a princess. Her name is Princess Vaiana. She unexpectedly presents as an Omega and she becomes a very valuable political prize. And she has two rival half-brothers who are competing for her and who want to marry her and who want her to be in the kingdom and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's one of those high epic fantasy stories. So much is going on. There's romance, there's betrayal, there's hidden secrets. It's a really, really good book. Finally, for my very last rec, I will recommend Raven and the Dove by Caitlin Davis. This is a series. There is 4 books. It's completed. Please go read it. The characters have wings. But yeah, it's about a princess. Her name is Princess Lyanna. She's trapped in a floating kingdom and she longs for freedom. She wants to escape the palace just as the royal courtship trials begin and unexpectedly saves a wraith, a disgraced bastard prince secretly impersonating his brother. Bound by shared forbidden magic, the two become entangled in a dangerous romance where powerful forces manipulate prophecy and politics from afar. This is a great series. There's 4 books. It's amazing. It's unique. Did I mention the characters have wings? The characters have wings. They can fly. Okay, I think that's enough reason to read it. There's not enough characters that have wings in books. And why not utilize that? But yeah, Raven and the Dove is a wonderful book series. As always, thank you so much for watching. I have another video in the works and it will be book recommendations for magical girls. So please keep an eye out for that. If you have any requests for videos, please let me know as well. But I have so many exciting things planned for this channel. I still want to do my Bridgerton fashion breakdowns. Those are coming soon as well. As always, have a lovely day and thank you for watching Her Princess Nook.